Baby, there ain't no business like show business. All right. Tua Tagovailoa did an interview on the Dan Le Batard show, and he was directly asked about the contrast between the beginning of his career under Brian Flores and currently under Mike McDaniel. And he had some really interesting things to say, and I'm just going to let the clip play, and then we'll get into my thoughts on it.
To put it in simplest terms, if you woke up every morning and I told you you suck at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, that this guy should be here, that you haven't earned this right, and then you have somebody else come in and tell you, dude, you are the best fit for this. Like, you are accurate, you are the best whatever, you are this, you are that. Like, how would it make you feel listening to one or the other? You see what I'm saying? And then you hear it, regardless of what it is, the good or the bad. And you hear it more and more. You start to actually believe that. I don't care who you are. You could be the president of the United States. You have a terrible person that's telling you things that you don't want to hear, or that you probably shouldn't be hearing. You're going to start to believe that about yourself. And so that's sort of like what ended up happening. And it was, I mean, it's basically been, 2 years of training that out of not just me, but, a couple of the guys as well that have been here since my rookie year all the way till now.
Damn, that was the most transparent answer Tua has ever given about anything. And there's a lot to unpack here. I think what makes this such an interesting comment is that he is directly saying Coach Flores told him he wasn't worth a damn on a daily basis. Now, that has been implied by people in the building and the media, even Tua himself. But this time, he was direct, from his perspective, of course. Now, we weren't there, so we have to analyze it from an outside perspective. But Tua directly calls Flores a terrible person. So there's clearly some strong feelings here. And honestly, I hope Flores responds with his perspective. Now, I doubt he will, especially considering he filed a lawsuit claiming that he was fired partially. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that. Not going to get in any of that. However, what I will say is that I see a whole lot on the internet of people shitting all over Coach Flores right now. And I get it, because everybody gives Tua shit. These brain-dead football fans watch Tua succeed, and they're the first ones there to discredit him while awaiting his every failure. And honestly, I've never seen anything like it in the NFL. People hate Tua, people love Tua. It's actually a pretty interesting contrast. But when he does succeed, it really does feel like an underdog story because of that. Because of the people that love when he doesn't succeed. However, I can't sit here and say that Brian Flores isn't a good coach. That defensive scheme is some of the best I've ever seen. I mean, those zero blitzes, some offenses were completely shut down by that, created so many turnovers, and the players loved him, at least on the defensive side of the ball. Some players. They respected that old school mentality of telling it how it is, or at least telling how it is from your perspective. I personally respect that to an extent, but you can't kill a guy's confidence to the point where he can't just go out there and play his game, right? And if you go back to the first couple years of Tua, he very rarely took deep shots. Most of the plays themselves were just dump-off designs, play action, quick dump-off to the tight end or fullback. And basically, the game plan was a game plan that you would use while playing with a handicapped quarterback. Now we could see that he is capable of making these tight window throws, and he has a good deep ball. So there's a level of distrust that was there in Tua in those seasons. And if anything, it's just another layer of the Tua storyline where we get confirmation. Flo didn't want his ass. And all I want to know after that is, how the hell did he get drafted then? Who was the ultimate decision maker there? Was it Chris Greer? Was it Stephen Ross? Who knows? But what I do know is that after having a father who makes a right-handed son throw left-handed and being under Nick Saban, who's a no BS coach, for Tua to say these things, it must have been pretty tough in that building. Now, I'm sure players and personnel, media members will respond to this because it's going pretty off right now, so that'll be interesting. That's just my take on it. I think that the story of Tua is very interesting, to say the least, and where it's going to go and continue. It's like a movie. This storyline is mad interesting. I want to see the guy succeed. I'm sure you all do too, but that's it. Just wanted to comment on that real quick.